We got our hands on Virtual Reality 2 a few days ago, and haven't quite had the time to finish it yet, so today, instead of a full review, we'll have to make do with giving you our first impressions of the game. The central conceit of the game is that while in the game you don a virtual reality headset and your consciousness is transferred to a virtual reality inside the one that is the game itself. In this franchise iteration, the virtual reality that you're in is under attack, and you're essentially trying to escape it. After a somewhat slow, exposition-heavy first chapter, the game barrels you headfirst into a wild adventure that plays out across 20 chapters and features constantly changing gameplay styles and mechanics. Regular viewers of our channel know that we like developers' tender claws. We gave their title, The Under Presents, one of our highest scores ever, and still consider it one of the most satisfying and unique experiences available on VR, regardless of platform. It was at once a game, a social experience, an existential puzzle, and a theatrical experience that blurred the lines between live and recorded performances. This means that when something new from Tender Claws comes our way, our expectations are perhaps unreasonably sky high. The first virtual reality made it quite clear that Tender Claws grasp all the fundamentals of VR immersion and know exactly how to create a polished game that oozes style. The Under Presents made it clear that they are mad geniuses that operate on a whimsical plane that few other developers can even touch, and that they have excellent writing and performance chops. Earlier, when discussing the game with fellow 60OF reviewer Doc Neal, I found myself suggesting that Tender Claws were basically the Alan Moore of virtual reality. Unlike somebody like Frank Miller, who found a niche early on in his career and settled into it with disturbing comfort, Moore loathes doing the same thing twice and constantly challenges himself. This attitude yields an inconsistent but highly respected corpus. Not everything Moore creates is gold, but he'll be damned if he rehashes himself. Tender Claws, it appears to us, breathe the same rarefied air. They may not always produce the best results or the best games, but they never go for a reskinned gaming cliche, they never give you a low-effort product, and they avoid cash grabs the way we avoid hyping poor titles. Virtual Reality 2 is not a lazy reskin of a game you've seen before, nor is it a low-effort cash grab. Our first impressions are that it is a stylistic wonderland of virtual reality experiences, wrapped into an existential narrative and packed with more whimsy and therapy than a dozen of you can comfortably shake your sticks at. Early on in the game, you're thrust into an oversized mech, and you're tasked with escaping one virtual reality into the next, constantly trying to make your way out, or, as the case may be, through. You control the mech through platforming sections and shooting sections, and you handle tasks given to you by various NPCs whose help you need. All of them are delivered with great writing and voice acting. However, and this is something that pains me to see, and that just keeps happening with Quest titles. At release, the game has several bugs. The team at Tender Claws have emailed us and said that these bugs will be addressed in an update that should be released 2 weeks after launch. For now, however, this meant that even armed with a walkthrough, there was a section of the game that I simply could not get past. Yes, we've been given an unlock code that allows us to jump into any chapter that we choose to, but these kind of problems should not exist at launch. It's frustrating and it's annoying, and we don't expect it from developers that we hold in such high esteem. But there you go, that's the immediate reality at the time of release. I've clearly failed at keeping this short, but I'll try to sum up. Virtual Reality 2 seems to be a fun game that partly sacrifices gameplay mechanics for style and story. It's got a good concept, a great art style, good writing, and good voice acting. It doesn't run as well as you might expect it to, and it is often jittery. How much of that is due to the bugs that'll get fixed, and how much of that is a purposeful design element that's supposed to highlight that you're inside an inept simulation, is at this moment anybody's guess. We'll find out more the more we get through it. The best thing about Virtual Reality 2, however, as with most other titles from Tender Claws, is that you've certainly never played anything quite like it. Is the novelty enough to forgive it its flaws? I guess we'll have to wait until we've played more to give it a full review and score it accordingly. For now, however, and to avoid some frustration, our immediate suggestion would be to keep it on your radar and wait for a couple of weeks for the update to come out with some needed bug fixes. See you next time.
Gavin's direction so well. Maybe we could work together. You see, I'm trying to get back to my old self. As Maslow might put it, my base needs are physiological. I would just call them base. Either way, myself could use some reconstituting. I'm feeling a bit watered down. And you do seem to be helpful. Let's play a fun game. It's called stealing. Go slither up to the server room on the main floor and extract some goo from the rack. Bring it back to moi. I'll be waiting.